Hello, today we're talking about taking mental health breaks. Reflections of Purpose. Hello, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Karen Sims. This is Twisted Threads, and you joined us for our Reflections of Purpose. Today, we want to talk a little bit about taking mental health breaks. So, why do we need them? When should we take them? And what should we do when we're taking a mental health break? Look, life gets stressful a lot of times, and there are oftentimes moments where we may feel overwhelmed. Sometimes we may feel ourselves starting to get maybe bogged down and depressed. Are you feeling like you can't focus? Is it just seeming like the days are just passing by and you're just a participant that's not even really active, but you're just literally watching the days go by? These are signs for you to remind you that it might be time for you to take a mental health break. Think about the things on your list. Are you feeling down more often? Is it taking you more time to kind of bounce back? Even if it's just say you got bad news, it doesn't mean that we need to have a negative response just because we got bad news. But, you know, in my whiz mind, it's like, don't nobody bring me no bad news, because it creates sometimes anxiety that, when left unaddressed, creates more of an issue. And then we have building blocks. Look, none of us are superhuman. You know, we can take off our Superman and Wonder Woman capes. There's a time and a place for us to grind as hard as we can. And then there's a time for us to what? Sit that tail down. Yes, sit down. And the reason why it's so important is because, look, we don't really have time to have a full mental breakdown. But if we take a focused mental break, it gives us the opportunity to regroup. It gives us an opportunity to rest, to reset, to recuperate, to reflect. Because if we're always going, chances are you might even be watching these videos and not even have the time or ability to do the work. That's right. Put in the work to reflect on what are the things in your life, in your corner, that you need to do. So we talked about the reasons why we might need to take a mental health break, or the signs that we have been given. Sometimes your body will give you clues. Remember not to ignore the signs that your body gives you. Fatigue, not being able to focus, just, you know, feeling like you're about to set it off. If you're always on edge, these are signs that your body gives you emotionally, mentally, and physically to say, hey, we might need a break. Understand that the break for you might not be the same thing for me. Retail therapy is a true type of therapy for me, but every person doesn't enjoy that. Maybe you don't enjoy the shopping. Maybe you need a spa day. Maybe you need a nap. I know it sounds so crazy, but look, think about why toddlers are so happy. They take a nap. It really is not hard. If you feel like life is stressing you out, start first with getting that midday nap in there. Maybe your life and your work doesn't allow you to do that on an everyday basis. But if things are getting stressful, take your hour lunch and say, you know what? Now I'm going to shut myself off from the rest of the world and allow myself to mentally recalibrate so that I can go back into the world and give out positive energy and give out good things. Look, it's not just because of the negative connotation that goes along when we say we need to take a mental break. It's also to allow us to remain positive about the things in our lives. So maybe taking a break for you means you need to become very active. Some of you out there are runners, and you running 5 miles brings you so much joy. That is not my testimony, but I support you as you run. Many of us may also need the opportunity just to sit still and not be active or do much of anything at all. And that allows our mind to reset and recalibrate. Maybe it's soft music for you. Maybe it's loud music for me. Maybe it's to be around crowds where you're able to see people busy and living and loving life. Whatever it is, we got to sign up for it, because life is too short for us to allow anxiety to get the best of us. Look, we're going to be talking more about even focusing focusing on mental health and what you can do about finding a mental health professional, because many of us try to take on too much by ourselves. When we think about taking a mental health break, the first thing is just to identify that you need a break. You need some small section of time that might be just for you, that might be just a reset. We're listening to our body. If we're feeling really tired, we understand that we got to give ourselves some time to sleep, because you know what happens? If you become sleep deprived, literally, it messes up your mental state. Most people don't even think about the physical effects of sleep deprivation. Yes, that's a big word, but it's important for you to understand and realize that maybe you got folks who can make it on 3 hours of sleep. I am not her, but perhaps you can do that. If I'm making it on 3 hours of sleep, chances are that in 5 more hours, I'm going to need another 3-hour nap. Let's just put it right out there. But as long as your body is able to function at a high capacity, for us to make sure we're continuing with our grind, that we're continuing to do what we need to do. It's the same thing, when we think, and I always think of this with toddlers. Toddlers take mental breaks. When they want to cry, they cry. On command, they can cry. Just because you didn't give them the cookie, they could cry. Now, of course, as adults, that is not acceptable. But imagine a kid that's cranky because they didn't get their nap, because they didn't get sleep, because they didn't get that mental break that they needed. Maybe they needed a hug and then everything was all right and they could terrorize the house for 4 more hours just because they had that hug time. Whatever it is, we've got to take the example, and the little child will lead them, that whether it's nap time, whether you need some time to be loved on, whether you need that spa day, that retail therapy, or just a moment by the waters to just clear and cleanse your thoughts and clear and cleanse your emotions, so that on the next moment, you're better than you were before. That you understand that the mental health breaks allow you to concentrate better. It allows you to stay focused on your goals. It allows you to live a better abundance in your life. Why? Because you usually are happier when you've taken a break, when you've given your mind an opportunity to just reset. We talk about in our health all the time, taking and having time to detox our body. Well, guess what? We are very focused on the need to also detox our mind. Turn some things off or fill yourself up with some good things. Maybe if you feel like you've gotten a large dose of negativity, you got to get around some positive people. Hey, press play on these reflections of purpose, because we're filling them up with as much positivity as we can. But no matter what, remind yourself to do what? Take a break. Take the mental health break, because your entire being depends on it. We need you here. The world is waiting for you. We're excited about the things that you'll continue to do after this short commercial break, because you need it. And so we encourage you to take these mental breaks and be reminded that it's okay to link up with other mental health professionals and figure out what it is. If you are a religious person, connect with your local church and remember to fellowship with those who you have like-minded religious experiences with. Why? Because it's important. If you think that prayer is something that changes things in your life, I'll tell you, for me, prayer is a daily necessity, and I recommend it, especially for those times when you need those mental health breaks, because you get to get clarity and to focus and to reflect on something that is not just about you, but it's also often about the world around you and why God has placed you in this world to be the amazing person. Look, this is Twisted Threads. These are our reflections of purpose. Remember to like and share these videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. And we just want to get the messages out to as many people as possible, because we're making impact in lives. And that's so very exciting for us. As always, make it an amazing day.
Reflections of purpose.